Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to be my guest today. We have back Lisa Shea, and she is our author, artist, and I don't know what's coming next, but she is capable of everything. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
She, besides having, she was on not too long ago. She had it was your first editions of your suspense, horror, psychological stories. These are the next ones. How's about that? Now, Lisa's dark, chipping, short, gripping. Chipping. Sounds like a wood chipper's horror show. Gripping short tales. And do they come in? Oh yes, 2. That was 3, and here was this one. This was had to be the first one.
Yep,
right?
yep.
That was the first.
I have 3 of them now.
These were the most recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to talk about those in a minute. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I just want to get the word out. I talk about Tatnuck all the time. Hello, Rebecca. I give you promotion, but Lisa and I were just talking. I was over there the other day, and I'm browsing around. Next thing I know, there's a sign, and it says local authors. I'm like, oh my God. Local authors out there. Go on over to the Tatnuck bookseller over in Westboro. They got a whole section, an aisle for local authors. It's terrific. Really, really great. So I'm pushing that. Now, Lisa has told me when she came in that they're going to have, well, I'm going to let her tell you. It's going to be by the Valley Cast, the 11th annual art palette contest. Tell us about this. Show us what you got.
Sure. So what they do is they have 100 palettes, and everyone who wants to participate gets an identical palette. So you're always starting from the exact same starting point, and each person pays $15 to get their palette and participate. And once those 100 palettes are gone, then they're gone. No one else can participate. Okay. And then you've got a couple months until I think it said March, when the actual show is, to bring in your finished palette, and it's up to you how you want to decorate or use it. So I just brought a couple of my examples.
Did you do those yourself?
Yep. So one year I did a lucky palette where I just put lucky symbols on it.
And the kids are welcome too.
Kids are welcome too. One year I did a cyanotype, which is the sunprint technology.
Yeah.
So those are all wildflowers from my backyard.
Yeah.
Put on there.
That's intricate. Look at this one.
One year I did a Dremel tool and carved a pattern into it. So this is a board game, and it comes with little game pieces and all sorts of other stuff, so you can play a game.
So you created a board
creativity.
game.
Yep. It's all about creativity.
I like this right here.
And then one year I did a little night scene of different little houses.
So it could be anything you can use.
It could be anything at all that you want. And some people take a bandsaw and cut this into pieces and then reassemble it into a 3-dimensional sculpture. So as long as you have the wood of the palette, you can do anything at all you want to with it.
Can you make a puzzle?
You can make a puzzle. Some people hang it like this and then hang little things down from the bottom of the palette.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of different... Some people stick a clock thing into it and make it into a clock.
Oh, well, they're way ahead of me. I was just trying to think, would I use Sharpies or acrylics?
You can use Sharpies. Sharpies and acrylics.
Will it take Sharpie?
Fine.
Is it that material? Will it, the wood?
Oh, yeah, because I think this is Sharpies. I think I drew on that with Sharpies.
The wood would do it.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of ideas, and if you look on YouTube for the Valley Cast palette, we have a bunch of the shows from the past online, so you can get ideas from looking at other people's. Some people do
so you can watch
Zentangling.
How would they get to that point?
If you go to YouTube and search for Valley Cast palette, then it will show you all sorts of different shows.
It'll show you all the different kinds of things. This is quite. Well, you're going to put some up, or I will for you over here at the our brand new Upton our center, and they've got great bulletin boards over there. Well, we still have them downstairs here at the Ristine building. But if you want, I'll get the word out even more. Now, do people? They don't have to live in Waynesville.
No, this is a community-wide, anyone who wants to come participate.
So if I was over at UMass, aha, I can put it up over there.
Yep.
I can put it up at Tatnuck. Of course, there's so many places. You can actually, when you go to a doctor's office, you can leave them there. People go, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
It's so many places, but I'm going to, if you have some extras, give them to me, because I'm all over the lot.
Okay.
I'm everywhere. I was just up in Webster. I got to give a plug. We call it Sally's Boutique, the Salvation Army.
Yep.
Oh my God! I've got to say that I'm more pleased with that one with the things they have than Worcester or Woonsocket. I noticed the quality. I'm just plugging it, but it's up in Webster. And then, of course, you have Deb Horan's Book Lovers Gourmet.
Yep.
Have you been going up there recently?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, she's a swell person. Oh, I sent more authors to her. I like her a lot. She's she's got a cozy store there. Okay, so I'm going to post these, it's called Open Sky Community Services, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
And it's going to be the 11th Annual Art Palette Contest. Doesn't matter if you're going to use crayons, anything you want.
Yep.
I know my granddaughter absolutely she doesn't want color. I'll give her something, and she's sketching. She's doing, what do they call it? Amma something art. What
Anime?
Anime.
Okay.
And I'm like, my urge is, don't you want to color it? Color it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white.
Yep, you could do black and white
So
Sharpie on that. That would be fine.
Okay, black and white. And it's the same price for all. $50 to get yourself a nice big juicy palette. Because the ones that I remember from wherever I was last time, which is cool, but this is huge.
These are large, so
Look at that.
you have plenty of space to
You
do
could
something
even make,
fun.
if you turn it, Lisa, if you turn it one way, you can see like a fish.
Yep, you can make fish.
Yeah, eye of a fish.
You can make lily pads.
Yeah.
All sorts of options.
I'm thinking, there's so many things.
Well, I know. You sit there looking at it for like weeks and weeks thinking about all the things you could do, and then at some point you just have to decide
I
and
have
move
a
forward.
friend who's an artist. She loves, what do you call it? She's in West Brookfield. She and her husband, collages.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be welcome?
Oh, sure. Yep, people do collages. People put like all their baby pictures on there or things like that.
Okay, and how about, how big is it? What's the,
I think this one has the size. It says 16 by 20.
Okay. And it's wood.
Yes.
16 by 20. Okay. I will let her know. And collage is welcome too.
Yep. Yep. It doesn't matter what you do. You can chop it into little tiny pieces as long as...
Someone like me, and like a lot of you out there, this is like a kid in a candy shop.
Oh, I know.
It's like going to a bookstore and just spending hours in there. Or a thrift shop too, right? Mm-hmm. This is awesome. Okay, so she would be welcome West Brookfield. I'm trying to think of all the people I know. But they can only take in 100, is that it?
Yes. Yes, there are only
So you better
100
hurry.
of them.
Right?
So, yes,
Maybe-
at some point they'll sell out and then no more people can participate.
And it started,
I think it
to
just started
register-
a week ago.
November 3rd. So now's the time.
Yep.
Till February 9th.
Yep. But they don't last that long.
While supplies last.
Right.
And so I got to get my little self over there and grab them, because this is fascinating. At least always got the coolest stuff.
Well, and plus the location where you pick those up right now has a printmaking show. They have woodblock prints and jelly prints and all sorts of prints. Plus they have the original source. So if someone did a woodblock print, which is when you take a block of wood and then you carve shapes into it, they have the actual block of wood next to the print that made it. So you can see the source material and then you can see the print that came off of it.
Oh my God.
It is really, really cool.
Have you tried it?
Woodblocking, yeah. It's very hard. Well, I also have shaky hands, so that makes it extra hard for me.
I remember years ago when we left, my father had to make a decision. All the time I was growing up, he was in the corporate, he worked in this company, and he finally decided he'd had enough. So we went to the Cape Cod Cottage, and he thought about what he wanted to do. He'd always wanted to have a print shop.
Ooh.
So, well, he's gone now, but it was in Dennisport, Mass.
Okay.
It was called Lewis Printing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, he had a couple of employees, but it was so much for him. He'd be there all night in the office.
Yeah, sure.
He was beginning to just get so... Finally, he loved it, but he had to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went back to corporate and as a sales exec. Mm-hmm. But he did it. He got the bee in his bonnet out of his bonnet.
Yeah.
And he did that. And I think that's important for people. Now, speaking of bees in their bonnet, we have a wonderful author here now. Well, how many books have you got coming right now? You've always got more.
Yeah, I've got 500 out, but I've got, I think, 30 series that are all ongoing, so I've got 30 series that people are waiting for the next book in.
Oh, my God. Now, you're at the time, you said to me you can be up all night and write a book.
Oh, yeah.
One book or two or three in one night?
Well, it would probably be a novella if it was a one-day project, which is, like 20,000 to 30,000 words, the shorter things. A full novel would take like a week.
Yeah, so these three took you about how long?
Well, those I spaced out over years because I write them around Halloween. I write the short stories, and then I'll stop until next Halloween comes around.
Did you go to many fairs before Halloween and sell some?
Oh, no, No, I haven't really done fairs. I've been so busy with the Blackstone Valley Art Association stuff. We get cultural council grants, so we've been going to all the local historical museums and doing video tours and that sort of
I
thing.
don't want people missing out. I mean, especially the kids at Halloween. They'd love to see you, meet you. And remember the place in Sutton with the big dragon?
Yep.
That
Enchanted
was
Passage.
great.
Yep.
Was it because of COVID that she
Yep.
went?
Yep. COVID.
What was it called? The Enchanted...
Enchanted Passage.
The Enchanted Passage. She was on the show once or twice. And I took a friend of mine there, Eva. I took her a couple times. And it was enchanted. It was like an old boys' school or something in there.
Well, it was the Armsby Farm. I actually wrote a book about the Armsby Farm and their history so that she could have it there. But yeah, it used to be an old dairy farm,
It was great.
supply shop.
She had a little coffee section. She had little doodads.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you go around. It's an old house, probably, 1800s? You go around the corners and stuff. What is it now? Does somebody buy it?
Yeah, it's a person's house.
Boy, that was something. Going from a beautiful little bookstore to suddenly owned personally. Huh. Well, I wish we could have some more, but we're having a lot of indies opening up in the Worcester area.
Yes.
Independent bookstores. Have you been over to, starts with an L, and I had husband and wife.
At Root Press?
Lolly,
Oh.
excuse me, I can't think of it. But among the many we've had on, the indie bookstores are popping up everywhere.
Yes.
And they love having you come, whether you're going to do your books or you want to do your art, anything, they love it. And they get you scheduled too, and they know me and I can help you get on. But so, she had originally given me the first 3 of this, and these are the second 3. Lisa's dark, gripping, short stories. Basically, what are these ones about?
Each is a wholly separate little short story, but a lot of them are set around in Sutton and Millbury and the other local towns because I like to write quiet things set in Worcester and that sort of thing.
And they're horror.
Well, they're
Kind of.
gentle horror. I don't do gore or violence or things like that, so it's more about people having fears about, the 5G airwaves getting into their brain and that sort of thing, so it's more...
That's her talent. And you always do the covers of your books, right?
Yes.
Do you self-publish now, or you still
yes.
publish? I love that. To me, I mean, I always suggest self-publish. Get it out fast. Don't wait for someone to say no to you. Get yourself out there, get well known, and then if you want to, hey, look, I'm good now, and here, give it to them. And how you have written, I think we talked about it last time, 500 books?
Yeah.
500 in how many years, Lisa?
Well, I think most of them have been in the past 10 years. I did write, back 20 years ago, but it was slow at the beginning.
So about 500 books in 10 years. That's a lot of books. And they're different genres. They're mysteries.
Well, I have all the genres. I think I've hit all the main genres at this point. So I have mystery, romance, science fiction, fantasy, dystopian, horror.
I like the one, especially, one of the ones a few years ago, there was a number of them. Here we go again. It was the park up in Sutton.
Purgatory Chasm.
Purgatory Chasm. You had some, I think, about that too, right?
Yep. My first Aspen Allegations was the dead body was found in Purgatory Chasm,
Yeah.
or actually in Sutton Woods, which
Was
is
that
behind
true?
it.
No.
No, that part wasn't true, but the part about a woman drowning in Singletary Lake was true. So that gets incorporated into the story.
So Lisa has that
she
talent.
didn't just drown; she was murdered. I should be more clear. Her
She
husband
could take
drowned
the
her.
real deal and write the story around it. That's pretty amazing. Lisa, people who haven't met you through the years, when did you begin wanting to write? When you were a little kid?
Yeah, when I was young.
What were you doing? First grade? What was it?
Well, and I grew up reading Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I always wanted to have Aragorn have a female companion, because Arwen really doesn't figure much into the book, so in essence it was me and Aragorn running around and saving the hobbits and that sort of thing.
Through The Hobbit. Now, did your mom or did you ever read the Mother Westwind Thornton Burgess series?
No.
Okay, my mom used to read those to me. What's that? The trailer kids. I can't remember. It was Anne and her brother. The Boxcar Children.
Oh, okay. No.
You didn't know? Okay, those were pretty popular. Did your mom read to you, or did you just?
Yeah. No, she read to us. Things
Okay.
like Little House on the Prairie.
And she was probably real good at it, right? So was mine. Did your mother act out or really talk?
Yeah.
So did mine. That's what got me. How old were you when she finally had stopped reading to you?
Well, I don't remember.
I was about 8. I could 2 years I could read. She did. She said, "Jan, come on, you could read." I didn't want her to. She'd do it at bedtime. It was one way to calm me down.
Right.
Because I could hear the other kids out there playing. Their parents didn't care what they were doing. My parents did. She said, "Come on, So she'd read to me. She'd be the frog. She'd be everything. I was just like fascinated. But I think it's so important what your mom did too. Was your dad a good reader?
Yep, yep.
He was. So you grew up with books.
Yes, yes.
So did I. Were they all different genres?
Yes.
How about politics? My father was big on that.
No, we didn't talk about politics a lot.
Oh, we did. Oh my God! Every Sunday you couldn't disturb my father. What Meet the Press, all the stuff that was his day. The New York Times, the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe. That was it. And the news every night at 6 o'clock. Dinner done. The news. That's how I was raised. But Mom she loved the books that oh God, she would absolutely, I know she would love reading. We're talking with Lisa Shea, and she is an author, an artist, I would say a really fantastic entrepreneur. You have tried different things. You came in one day where you had done a beautiful, was it a skirt or a dress?
A dress, a cyanotype dress.
And I thought, wow, I mean, if you went into a store and wanted to buy that, and she could just do it. Lisa, how can they reach you?
Well, lisashea.com, and that's probably the easiest way to reach me. There's contact forms there and stuff.
When you got into high school, were you already doing really probably very well, acing English class, right?
Yeah, I did well in school.
You were doing well. And then when you left high school, where did you go from there?
Worcester Polytech.
At where?
Worcester Polytech Institute.
Oh, you went to
WPI.
WPI.
Yeah.
What did you do at PI?
Computer science.
So you were very good with the math.
Yep. But then I dropped out and I started working at biotechs instead. So.
At biotech?
Yeah.
What did you do at biotech?
I worked at Cambridge Bioscience in Worcester and then Biogen in Cambridge.
Is that like lab and research?
Well, the biotechs were doing research on HIV vaccines and other things like that, and I was doing computer work for them, so I did the computer training and computer maintenance.
And then on the side, when you had the time, you would write.
Yep.
Do you still have the books you wrote from back then?
Yeah, they're all part of the library.
They're all part of yours. At home, do you have a humongous library of your books?
No, I don't keep copies of my books.
You don't?
No, there'd be too many.
Yeah, probably you'd have to dedicate like 2 or 3 rooms, right, to the whole thing. I know, but mine usually end up in a pile by the bed. And then they'll see, which one will I read tonight? Some people say, why don't you just concentrate on one book at a time? I'm like, well, when you go to bed, you want to read, right? I mean, are you always in the same mood? Maybe tonight I feel more like I want to calm down, so I want to read something else. Or now I want some real horror or true crime, something like that. All right, so you went, my God, you went to WPI. Did you ever go over to Clark?
Oh, I'm sure I must have visited there. I mean, there's a lot of art programs over there, so you go over to see the art shows.
Clark and WPI are very friendly. They kind of collaborate. My grandfather graduated from Clark. And I think my niece went to, was it Becker for a while before they closed?
Right, yeah.
Why did Becker close?
I don't know. I think just low enrollment.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good school, but we've got a lot of colleges in Worcester. I wonder why the heck I had to go up to New Hampshire, but I did. The ambiance. You've got the White Mountains.
Yep.
It just drew me in. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I wanted that campus. But what I didn't realize, and I didn't have your ability with numbers and all this stuff, that you really got to study. And you're not going to do well in college math, Jan. And I didn't. I really, really didn't. Everything else, okay. But that was, it was so foreign. So I got a warning when I was accepted. You're not going to do well. Did not do well. Now, have you got any more coming in the dark stories?
No, I'm going to wait until next Halloween. So, like I said, I tend to write those around the Halloween season, and then I put it aside. So right now I'm finishing up, I think it's my 18th medieval novel, and I'm working on my 19th medieval novel. So those are gentle romances.
Can you let me know when you're all done?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so we'll get the medieval. She's writing a medieval, too. This is big in the stores now. Fantasy, medieval.
Yeah.
My husband loves sci-fi. What else do the kids like?
Dystopian. They're reading lots of dystopian with the world being destroyed.
Dystopian, right? Because I'm seeing so many of them in the bookstores, and I'm just like scratching my head. Like you immediately get into it. So I've got to try maybe when I start reading maybe some of your what did you call it? The one coming up, the
medieval romance.
Medieval one. I should read those more. Right, would be kind of like Camelot, right? Like
Yeah.
Camelot. Okay,
Well,
I gotta keep that in
Robin
mind.
Hood.
Okay, I loved Camelot, so go into this, Jan, with thinking about Camelot. We're talking with Lisa Shea, artist, author, local. Are you strictly working behind the scenes, or are you appearing at different places?
Well, with the Blackstone Valley Art Association, we have the photography show coming up, so that's one
you
of the
brought
things
your
we're
camera.
working on. Yep.
Aha.
So that's also a community show, so
Yeah.
people can enter with whatever kind of camera they use. Cell phone cameras are completely fine. You can use little digital point and shoots if you want. It doesn't have to be a fancy camera. But the ones I brought were film cameras because a lot of people are getting back into film.
Aha.
So this is an old film camera. Let me just get it open.
You've got Paul's attention
That
because he's a
used
photographer.
35 millimeter
Look at
film,
that.
which was the little kind of film. I know my hands are a little shaky, so. All right, so 35 millimeter was the little size of film, and when it made negatives, the negatives came out in little strips. They cut the little size film into little rectangles just to make it easy to store.
Like what my father might have brought home.
But we also have medium format cameras, which have bigger spots.
That's an old camera.
No, this is actually a new camera.
Is it?
They have new cheap. This is completely plastic, so they're very cheap.
Really?
And the space in there is bigger. So the medium format uses a big size film compared with the little 35 millimeter film. So it's bigger film, gives you better quality, and then when it makes the negatives come out in this giant format. And they're big squares in general. So
Where do you
can
get
make
them processed? You
big
go to
squares.
CVS like
No,
it?
I send them up to this place in New Hampshire. If you Google, medium format film developing, then there'll be a bunch of places you can go with. But these are both fun ways that you can get these things in thrift stores, the old film cameras, because people don't use them a lot. So you
Yeah.
can get them really cheap in thrift stores.
But do they work still?
Oh, yeah, they work fine. And then you can get the medium format ones
Where do you
at
get-
Amazon and stuff. And because they're made of plastic, they're also fairly
How
cheap.
much is it?
Well, get them for like $15 or $20.
That's it?
Well, the cost is in the developing. When you have to send the film up to
Is
develop,
it
that's
easy?
gonna
It's
be-
easy. You don't have to zoom in. You can just.
Well, I mean, on one hand, it's easy because you just point and press the button and it takes
Yeah.
the picture. On the other hand, it means you can't do fancy stuff like.
Which I wouldn't care about. Yeah,
But yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to get the picture.
Right.
So
So
those
it's,
little ones, they were. What do they buy? That little foreign. They are going out of style now. I guess those little green ones. Fuji puts them out. The little. They used to be like $4 or
like
$5.
disposable cameras.
They were like the indoor-outdoor thing.
Okay.
And that's what I was using for years.
Mm-hmm.
And you just take it over to CVS and they'll take care of it for you. But it used to be about $4 or $5. It's now almost $20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's hard to find them. And I'm concerned that CVS may not take care of them anymore.
Oh,
So am I
could be.
wiser to buy one of those?
Well, you should get whatever you enjoy. Most people now use cell phones, which is perfectly fine,
Yeah.
and they're fun to use, and you can do all sorts of, filters and things on your cell phone. But it's also fun if you can find one of these old cameras. It's
Yeah.
just fun to play with it and see how they work. And they're, like I said, the camera's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
The film developing, now you have to send it out somewhere and pay them $15 or $20
Okay, so I
and then
pay
wait.
about $15 for that one you showed us, the
Yeah.
orangey, yellowy one.
Yep.
Okay, so how many pictures do you get?
I think that's 12 pictures. I should remember.
12. And then, okay, so let's say it's all done.
Yep.
And then you would send it off, you mail it
Yep. You
to
mail
a
it.
place in New Hampshire.
Yep. And then they put the pictures online for me to download.
Oh, they'll send it to your email?
Yep. Yeah, I asked them for the actual negatives back because I want them, but for most people they can just send them the JPEGs
Oh, that's awesome.
and get
So
the
they send it
JPEGs.
to you through your email.
Yep.
And then you can, with the words,
Yep.
download
You
it.
can, yep, you can print them, you can share them on Facebook.
How much do they charge?
Well, that's, again, another like $15 or $20
All
for
right,
the
okay,
processing
I
fee.
understand, yeah. And you can order doubles too, and
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if they send you the JPEG, you can make infinite
you
copies
can
of
do it
it.
yourself.
Right.
oh, this is fantastic for those of us who are totally stupid when it
Oh,
comes to. You know, I don't want anything that's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
The older I get, don't even go there with me. Just show me something. 1, 2, 3. Learning the computer. 10 years ago was a traumatic event. I mean, I thought I had a lawyer. That's the only way I could talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get him on the phone. I said, this is going to drive me nuts. So by then, my own kid was, they're born with those in their mouth,
Yep.
So I finally had to, I spent a whole month going to different libraries so I wouldn't irritate the same one. And I would say, that's how I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And just the basics, man, it was how to email, which I love. I like it better than the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the emailing, looking up things that you're interested in,
Yeah.
which I'm so curious. The other problem is if you get a doctor's report, on your chart
Mm-hmm.
online from, let's say, UMass, There are some of us who should never get that. At least until the doctor talks to you. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? I'm writing it down. I'm looking at. By the time I see this guy,
Right.
I've got one foot in the grave.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
am I going to live to see another day? What is this? And he's looking at me like, what? But there are some people who should get it that quickly. I don't know why patients get it before the doctor, but that's dangerous. You know, a lot of us just. Now, Lisa, what is, besides that's going to be, is that going to be a show, a photography show?
Yeah, so it's going to be at the Uxbridge Gallery. The community is all welcome and encouraged to participate in it, all styles of photography.
What day? When is it going to be?
I'll have it up on the website. I think January 5th or 6th or something is the
Okay.
drop-off, so early January is when we start taking that show in.
Okay, all right. And you have a deadline for people to get theirs in?
That's the January 5th or January 6th.
Okay. Lisa, one more time, how can they get all this information?
Go to lisashea.com, so it's LISASHEA.com.
She's filled with information. I mean, you can't go wrong. Just connect with Lisa. She can help you with the book she's writing. About what did you call it again? The designing your own...
Oh, the palettes?
The palettes.
Mhm.
That's cool. She can help you with there, too. The cameras, which I couldn't figure out why you brought the cameras. Now I know. I want to get that simple one. I just want... Because you go to families now, and I don't know, I don't want to use my cell phone. I want to get everybody, I just want to have it a little bit more like it used to be. I don't know, a little,
Yeah.
with the cell phone I have to go like this, and I have to go like that, and then once you get it on your cell phone, but then what? I mean, what am I missing here? How do you get copies of this?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But this sounds great. So go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Lisa's coming back, because you have, the medieval books are coming up.
Yep.
How many in that category are you going to have?
I think I have 18 done. So the 18th one is the one I'm doing the final edits on, and then the 19th one is the one I'm working on right now.
Okay, so they're going to be the same characters carrying through?
No, it's there's a different couple each time, and they have a sword, and at the end of each one they hand the sword off to the next woman, and that woman then has her adventure.
How about true crime?
No, I suppose I haven't done a true crime.
True crime. It's creepy as you know what.
Mhm.
There's sometimes, if you're reading it before bed, you're like, yeah, I think I'll put it down and read it tomorrow. We are getting the word. Doggone it, that half hour goes really quick. Delighted to have Lisa back, always. Look her up. The art palette contest. I think I'm going to do it. Looks like a lot of fun. You don't have to be a super duper artist.
Everyone's welcome.
Do anything you want. Make a collage. Get the kids to do theirs, and
Ooh, it could be
it's
a
fun.
family.
And they'll exhibit it right there at the place, and you can walk by and see how everybody else did theirs, and no comparing. There's no rules in art. Just have fun. Thanks for being with us, Lisa.
Well, thank you so
She
much.
always brings so cool. He's the Mr. Rogers of our artists in the world. He brings so many cool things. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.